That then shifts to a good question that I have for you. Final Fantasy, we are assuming 7.0 is going to like bring in the graphics update. April 3rd, they're doing the server upgrades. So you're continually seeing a tech upgrade within 14. Do you feel like 7.0 with its graphics update is going to feel like new and fresh enough that it's going to re-engage and re-excite the community?
People say that graphics matter. Elden Ring just got their new ray tracing or whatever rolled in. Graphics draw people in. Graphics make people look over and go, ooh, what's that? They don't keep people.
Shiny.
Good gameplay keeps people.
Yeah.
I do not believe that their goal is going to be to alienate minimum system spec. So just for the sake of graphics. So if minimum system spec has to go up because they're increasing other things, then the graphics get to come up to meet that. But I don't think graphics alone are enough of a reason to update minimum spec on this genre of games. So no, I think that the graphics will be pretty. I think the screenshots will be prettier. But ultimately, I think there are going to be people that say it's not enough of a difference, or they don't even see the difference in certain parts of the world. I think you're going to be looking at something that is prettier and is better. But I don't think you're going to jump us from 27 million to 50 million players off of anything you can do to the game graphically.
Does bringing the game to Xbox help out with that number?
Yeah, there's a ton of people that don't have access to the game, or, don't have regular access to the game that play on other platforms. And so anytime you can add a platform, that's a straight up growth vertical. And that doesn't mean there aren't people who are on existing platforms that wouldn't move over to Xbox or something like that. But there are definitely people that only play Xbox games that it's not an option. So yes, adding any new platform, having official Stream Deck support where there's like better UI and stuff over there, that's a growth vertical. It wouldn't matter if it was somehow browser based. And even if people are like, well, it runs worse. The browser based version runs so much worse than mine. You wouldn't even be able to ultimate rate on this. It would still be a growth vertical because you would have people that hop into the free trial. I mean, right now the login campaign goes through early next month. If you are on somebody who's on the starter edition, where normally you have to pay a sub, you can free login right now. And if you go to the website before the end of this free login campaign, you can add Stormblood onto your free trial or onto your starter edition for free. So like they're interested in bringing in new players that have tried the game before and have fallen off. And I don't see why you wouldn't also be interested in adding new players on new platforms other than just the cost of going there. And so like, I think at this point, Xbox is just a cost thing. And you have to wonder, is it just the cost of going over there? Or are they also giving up some number they received from Sony to not do it? Like, is there a catch and kill going on?
That's what I wonder at some point, because all the language has been, yes, yeah, we would love to be on Xbox, and Xbox, like, we would love to have them here. And it always has been like a numbers thing, right? Because we know that, she's talked about every version, every expansion, every platform adds to their, like extra testing and extra work. It's like that. Well, that's a problem solved with the dollar, right? That's a problem that if Microsoft was like, hey, we're missing several key numbered titles, 14 being one of them, off of our platform. How do we fix that? And Microsoft has a big enough, bank that they could write that check. But why has that check not been written? That's where one of the things with the whole Xbox acquisition of where like, hey, they're petitioning and subpoenaing Sony. It's like, what's that cost? And the thing for me though is that it with an MMO as opposed to like something like Final Fantasy 16, where 16 isn't a ongoing revenue driving game that doesn't have a subscription, it doesn't have a cash shop. 14 does. It has the subscription, it has the cash shop. Like, if you're trying to block that game from your like a competitive platform, like that's got to be an ongoing cost. That's got to be something where it's like, for this period of time, we're just going to keep paying you guys so that it stays here and stays on this platform in and of itself, because I do think it's lucrative. Like I think that every, I would argue that you could pick up, at least a couple 100,000 players. Sure, it's not, you're not going to pick up 30 million on an Xbox platform, but to not be in that presence and to not have that say, you're also giving up to the competitors. Diablo 4 does it. You know, I was actually able to confirm that. I was playing on PC, playing on Xbox, and play on PlayStation 5. Same character, moving forward, everybody's playing together.
I mean, you have to buy your site license just like 14, right? So you have to buy the game on all of them.
I think overall, for the vast majority of gamers, that's not a roadblock, right? Oh, I want to play on a different platform. Okay, like there's an entry fee to that, not a problem. You're seeing also games take it on with free to play, like Wayfinder. Wayfinder is going to do these things. At some point, you're going to be the odd duck out. You know, you're going to be the one who's like, oh, okay, well, I would play 14 with you, but we were playing Wayfinder and Destiny, and we were playing Diablo and all of these games together across all these different platforms with our Discord integration. And then all of a sudden you're looking at Final Fantasy 14 going like, what gives? What's the problem here?
As it sits, it's really hard to complain about the way 14 does things too loudly on that front, because you kind of have to stay in your lane to see it as a problem, because relative to the space, they support more platforms than most.
Yeah.
And so I would say as of now, that's very much like if somebody thinks that that's 14's like biggest growth problem, that's a sign that they're not playing enough other games, because there are other games that are perfectly commercially viable that don't support any consoles. So World of Warcraft and Guild Wars jumping to mind as two games that are absolutely capable of going to console and just don't.